A rare sighting to share with you at Fort Fisher, a sea turtle coming ashore to lay her eggs. This was around 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. We're still in nesting season, but this is unusual since they typically lay their eggs at dusk or overnight. There are now 61 turtle nests there at Fort Fisher. So really neat thing to see. Thanks for joining us.